Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here again with a more sense activating tool. Now, it's very important to get all your senses working at their highest levels so that you're able to access your inner magical being and stimulate your higher psychic powers. Well, how would touch do that? Well, the problem is that we are too centered on only using sight. And basically, how often do you really use touch? Well, you really don't. You use very little touch, and of course, it's such backed up by your vision that you're not really using the sense of touch. So how do you do this? Now, there are ways of making all your own stuff up, but it's always nice to find things like this that are made for children. And here's a nice little feel and find science game is what they call it. 6 textures on each card, 4 game mats, a spinner, 30 plastic marker chips, and activity guide. 6 textures on each mat. And you can see that you get these types of mats. You have a spinner here to locate something. So again, one of the best things to do here is get rid of sight entirely. So what you want to do is you get one of those sleep masks that block out the sun, so you don't really know what is going on. So in terms of looking at it visually. So let's look at each card here. This is rough, smooth, furry, soft, bumpy, scaly. And so you've got 4 of these cards that have these on it. And of course it has the same textures on each one. There's just different, they're showing you different animals here. Smooth as an apple, rough, I guess that's a rock, scaly again as a snake. And here we go again, smooth, a dolphin, bumpy, a soft is a cat. So the whole idea is you have these, and oddly, these kind of things tend to be expensive and difficult to find. You would think that children's stuff like this would be cheap. But you can, maybe you can find a variant. You could even make your own if you really wanted to take the time. What's nice about these is they're very colorful. They are pre-made up for you. And it has a nice little spinner here. So what you would do is put on the mask, spin this, then without looking, find the tip of the spinner. And then go over to the feeling here. So the whole idea is you're tuning in. So what actually is that? So you want to then go to the cards and feel them. Well, and it's not as easy as it appears when you're not looking. So you can feel that again. So it's very fabric-like. Go back. Well, those two are the same, so it would be soft. So, I mean, that's how you use this. And what you want to do is have something where you start using your senses in a higher way. Now, here's your sense of touch, which, as I said, very few people use seriously. So, again, your sight is dominant of everything. This is made by Lakeshore. I think they have, this is relatively recent. I don't know if I can find any. They do have their own Lakeshore Learning.com. See what they have there. Again, make sure you check the links below this, and if it is available, we'll have a link for you to Amazon. We do have lots of tools. You should make sure you like this, subscribe, etc., so we can continue to bring these things and bring you information. This is practical training. And you may think this is a little silly, but it isn't. You've got to train all your senses because you want to fill up your senses as well. One of the things of achieving high levels of psychic empowerment is the fact that you fill up your other senses, your sense of touch, hearing, seeing, smelling. All these are things that you should work on. And when you want to kick in your higher senses of psychic empowerment, generally what you do is fill up your senses. That's all part of it. When all your senses are filled, your body naturally kicks in your psychic powers. So I don't think people understand that. But, when your body's trying to get more and more information and you've filled up your normal information, but this again heightens your senses. High level extreme abilities is about heightened senses on all levels. So here's a way to do it. This sounds a lot easier than it is because a lot of the feelings that you have here are very similar, particularly fluffy, fuzzy, soft. Well, these are very similar. The other ones are a little bit different. So they're a little easier to find, ridged, etc. But ridged is close to bumpy. So all of this is going to take a little more practice and sensitivity that you start feeling. And as such, you're going to do that. You're going to heighten your senses. When you heighten your senses, you're going to then be able to perform at high psychic levels much easier. So I hope everyone has enjoyed that. As I said, make sure to like and subscribe and check our links. Lots more to come.